Hello, hello, hello. I want to talk about the actual therapy process and how we are going to exactly go about setting this up. So, I already talked in my other videos about the different groups of, the different psychiatric main groups, so cluster A, cluster B, and cluster C, and all these different psychiatric disorders are falling into those categories, and the groups are basically for them mainly ordered in these categories in order to know which type of therapy should be applied. I know this is already being done like this so that they know how they can even try to help these people, and what kind of approaches they need for those different groups, because each group is different and the people can be treated differently, because in medical in sense of medical treatment, so in sense of therapy process and all of this is already, they're already very well aware about this. So that's very clear. So we cannot be putting these people together in the same group, so we cannot be treating the people in one group the way we treat people in another group, because they will not be responding to it, and they are not, also they are just consciously not ready for the other treatment processes. So the people in cluster B are really, that I would say this, and I'm not talking about hierarchy or anything. It's not a hierarchy. I'm against hierarchy. It's just that those are the most difficult people to receive treatment, and also the least ones that will maybe begin a healing process, or at least the ones where it's the most difficult to get through and to establish trust. Also, I believe that very strongly, that those are the ones that have the least trust. They have the, like I said before, energetic pain. They are genetically damaged. I'll say this word loosely like this. My husband will argue and say that's not a damage, that's just how they evolved, or that's just how they are, it just happened. But I personally will put a sort of like a, you know, it's not a judgment, but kind of like more like from an from a therapeutic evaluating point of view, so damaged in some way, in a way, in a more, it's a more convoluted way, where they are actually damaged. And you know he'll say, my husband will say, oh no, that's just how their brain formation is. And I say, yeah, but I see this brain formation, or this missing development of amygdala, or the hippocampus, or the corpus callosum. I do see this as a pathology, and whether this is genetic or energetic, or epigenetic, or environmentally caused through trauma, PTSD, and so on. So I I I will put this label loosely on, or I will say, yes, there is a damage, and I do believe that healing can happen there too, but probably very, 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 very gradually, and it can only happen when there's absolute trust happening. And that doesn't mean we have to hold the other cheek and now let them free and give them everything they want, thousands of dollars, so that they can buy things that will destroy the environment and themselves even further. No, that's not how it's done. That is, again, that is the this Christian and also the liberal point of view of how let's just hold the other cheek and let them just do what they want to do, otherwise it's a violation of human rights. So that's a completely wrong point of view and completely twisted view on things. So that's not how it's done, just it's like my mother at one time said to me, because I gave somebody a present of something wholesome, a wholesome present of something that I made myself and with love and everything. And then she said, you can't give people things that you think is right for them. You should give people things that they think is right for them. It's like, okay, then with that philosophy, I can just go, okay, then let me buy some heroin for the heroin user, right? I mean, like, where do we draw the line with this, So you want to give people what they want, what they think they want, So more destruction, I should pay for someone to have a tattoo done? No, okay? Because that's not good for them. That's a violation of their bodies. Why should I support this, right? So in the same sense, the homeless people are on the path to self-destruction. Why should I accept that and allow this? Oh, you should just allow people to do it. We need to be libertarian. We need to allow everyone to do what they want. No, okay? We're all in this here together. The homeless people on their path of self-destruction are also hurting others in the process, because they're not separated. Everything is interwoven. When someone breaks a glass bottle on a bike path, then dogs and bicycle riders will step on it or run over it. And they cut their feet, they cut their tires, okay? So it does affect others, okay? And there are endlessly many examples for that, in ways where the homeless people are negatively affecting other people. It's not just about, Rodeo Drive wants to have their streets clean and they want to have their expensive stores look good, and they want the environment to look healthy and happy, okay? Yes, that too, and I agree with them. They have the right to do this, okay? But it's not just for commerce. It's not just for tourist attractiveness. It's not just for vanity or for money. Okay, this is for health and well-being for all of us. And I think we should take this into consideration. And the homeless people on their path of destruction, they're suffering miserably. Even if they want to be free, as they call it, they're not free, because they're not free in their minds. If we give into this, this idea that they have of freedom, where they buy their whiskey, that's not freedom. That's dependency on substances, that is self-destruction, that is acting out from trauma, that is destructive for others, that is just, it doesn't serve the greater good. It doesn't serve them in any way. So, and I am certainly not coming with this argument from any kind of corporate mind state, or, trying to appease anyone, or trying to, there's a lot of people that will come from that kind of argument of, oh yeah, we'll figure out some argument that speak for our corporatism or something. I am not a corporatist in any way whatsoever. I don't endorse anyone in this way, I don't endorse any corporation, particularly not the destructive ones and all of this. So But, I fully agree with people, like they want to have their street look beautiful and they want customers, and I fully agree that, is it is a much better life. It's much higher quality of life for all of us. And the homeless people, if they if the police officers treat them bad, and if they just get into some kind of prison or psychiatric environment where they're being mistreated, then obviously that's not helping them. Okay, that's not helping them. But it's also not helping them to walk them down Rodeo Drive and smash a glass bottle in front of the Chanel store or something. No, that's not cool. It's not funny. It really isn't. So, and or in front of any store, in any street. It's not cool. Happened. My husband's mother had a music store. Guy walks by, smashes a whiskey bottle in front of her store. What does she do? She goes out there and apologizes to him, like, for what? And buys them a new whiskey bottle? Like, wow! Gee! It's like, I mean, to me, that's the epitome of hold the other cheek and liberalism. It's not just hold the other cheek, it's like, let's roll the red carpet out for those who are on the path of self-destruction, so that they can now destruct themselves on the red carpet. Or, let's cater to them, let's give them more money for whiskey and stuff. No, that's like the opposite direction of where I'm heading towards. And I again, I am also against any of these abuses. The irritated police officers letting it out on, that's all wrong. The entire psychiatry is going completely in the wrong direction. It's completely wrong. They're not helping people. Nothing is being done really to help. So I've been thinking about this for like 30 years. I really know what I'm talking about. I put my mind into this really, really, really clearly. So I grew up with, basically, from day one, my brain was wired in this direction. So, first of all, of observing the extreme neurotic actions around me of people and adults and kids and teenagers being bullied, and seeing all of this destructive behavior. And more and more and more, something very, 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 a very important message forms itself in the process. And the message is, that people are hurting. There's pain, hate, jealousy, rage, competition. This comes from childhood trauma. Let's heal it. Let's go into ourselves, into our own minds in meditation, and heal this terrible trauma, this terrible pain. And the only way this can be done is through utmost an introspection process of very specific therapy. I'm going to make another part for this, because this cannot be expressed in 15 minutes. But it's good that I'm making 15-minute videos now, because this is another thing that I needed to learn. I needed to learn to become more focused and more condensed in the way I express this message. And this helps me also to focus more if I have to look at that clock up there. So I'm going to make another part.